Станом Зjednoczonych.
What is considered one of the best groups of U-20 national players assembled. Mo, Tab Ramos also talked to us about how many professionals he's had in years gone by. A lot of college players, not anymore. These are players that have played at the top level, many of them, and they're hoping to go further than any other US side, but they face a very good Ukrainian starting 11.
Yes, they do, and you take a look at this team. Up top, you have the big man, Supriyaha, who's in the Euros, in the team of the tournament, supported by the attacking duo of Buleshka and Chichashvili. In the back, they play the three back. They're a very compact defensive team, looking to play on the counterattack. And in goal, they have Andre Lunin, competent goal stopper, but against this U.S. team, they're going to have their work cut out for them.
A man who's already been signed by Real Madrid on loan at Leganés in La Liga. That tells you about the quality of that man. Our match referee today will be Maguette Enai from Senegal. The US captained by Paxton Pomykal. No Mark McKenzie in the lineup today. Man, you know very well, not deemed fit enough to start this game, but expected to still play a big part for this team moving forward.
He will, and I think even off the bench, he's a vocal guy, a guy that's well respected. His talents speak for themselves, but his presence alone on the bench, supporting his teammates is going to be vital. But there's a lot of confidence in this man, Paxton Pomykal, as well. He's been having a great season in MLS, been in the team of the week a few times already. So he's going to come into this tournament confident, and he needs to exude that, and he needs to express that throughout the rest of this team as well.
Video assistant referees will be led by Benoit Milot from France today. Well, you mentioned Paxton Pomykal already in that starting lineup almost every game this season for FC Dallas, and having a very good campaign. 9 appearances, 8 of those starts. And here is the US starting 11. What stands out for you?
What stands out for me, Brady Scott stays in goal, but it's in the midfield and in the really attacking areas that are exciting for me. When you have guys like Tim Weah coming into the team, Conrad De La Fuente playing at Barcelona, Paxton Pomykal, who we talked about. But in the back, you know, Mark McKenzie's not playing, so I think a lot of responsibility is going to be on the shoulders of Chris Richards to use his athleticism and his intelligence to really put out fires in the transition game. Because at the highest level, that's when the game can really get stretched and teams can get exposed. So keep an eye on that area. Chris Durkin playing in the 6 as well to protect that back 4.
Richards, Gloucester and Scott all playing in Germany right now. Richards part of the Bayern Munich program. They have a bit of a link there with FC Dallas. They'll be hoping to make the breakthrough into their first team over the coming years. Alexander Petrikov, very experienced coach at the youth national team levels. On the other side of things, a man who's seen a lot of these U-20 World Cups over the years, Tab Ramos.
Tab Ramos, a guy, like, as you said, he's not only experienced as a manager at these levels, but also playing it. And I think that is something that he can bring to this team, to these young players, to express to them what it means to represent your country first and foremost in a World Cup, because that's not a given for you. So whether it's a U-20 World Cup, it's a full World Cup, it's important that you enjoy this moment, but also go out there and represent yourself and your country with pride.
It is the Ukraine who kick things off, attacking from left to right. A reminder, they came through UEFA qualifying last summer, where they knocked out England, and they also beat France, a team that many feel can go all the way in this year's tournament, so they cannot be taken lightly. Tab Ramos mentioning how quick they were in transition, particularly as one of their strengths. Ball back with Dennis Popov. Big defender looking for that one forward. Won by Keita. It'll be interesting to see exactly how the US line up. It looks like Mendes, for now, is on the left with Pomykal a little bit more central.
And again, I can't stress the importance of Chris Durkin in this situation, in this lineup. When you talk about the transition game, for a team that wants to dominate with possession, that wants to get forward, that wants to have their fullbacks attack, it's important that you have someone who's protecting that back four. And, you know, one thing Tab did mention when we talked to him is, although in qualifying and against some of the CONCACAF teams, they were having their fullbacks fly forward, they're going to try to have a little bit more balance. So if one gets forward, if Gloucester gets forward, it's going to be important that Serginho Dest on the other side balances out the team and holds back a little bit.
Also another player who's gone to the Bundesliga with Hanover. Side that were recently relegated down to the Zweite Liga. Nice ball forward here for Conrad de la Fuente. He's 17 years of age, but super talented winger. Nice ball back in. Serginho Dest with the cross. Not fully dealt with by Ukraine, but they clear it at the second attempt. Positive start in possession here for the US. Dirk and the man you mentioned getting a touch. Richards to Gloucester. Back to Abubakar Keita, who said he was absolutely ecstatic to get the call-up for the squad. Not one that's been around the system as long as some of the others. Gloucester. Nice ball inside. No touch from Mendes, looking for the return for Gloucester. And then the US on the second ball. Serginho Dest, part of that famed Ajax system that continues to just produce top player after top player. Serginho Dest hoping he's one of the next to make the breakthrough. Keita. Nice step from Keita as he tries to thread that one into the path of Mendes. Good read from Popov. Mendes has another chance with that cultured left foot of his. Nice ball inside. Slovenia giving possession away. Montpellier win it back. Interesting. No, Tab mentioned in transition. So far, the US have done a good job of winning that second ball back pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that was a good example of it right there. They committed numbers forwards, and when the ball turned over, they were quick to react, which is going to be vital in this game because in transition, this Ukrainian side, they have the players that can hurt you. They don't need to commit as many numbers forward because they have players in those higher areas, Supriyaha, Bulesha, who can get on the ball and create something out of nothing.
Almost a team that are comfortable with the opposition having possession at times. It was a very difficult group that came up in UEFA qualifying. England, the holders. France, of course. They did lose 5-0 in the knockout stages, but they'd already solidified their place in the World Cup, so perhaps minds were elsewhere at that.
And that was such a freak game. Yes. They conceded so many goals in that
the
short
first 30 minutes. Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Not something that's ever happened to you in your career.
I don't want to talk about that.
Good press further forward. Tim Weah, who's been on loan at Celtic for the second half of the season. A couple of goals early on there, but then change of manager meant a change of fortune for him. But a man who's got full international experience as well on the side today.
And it's interesting that he's playing in the number 9 role. You know, Tab mentioned that that's a role that he has been playing for club, but at the higher level and with the full team, they're more looking at him as a winger. But when you look at this roster and you look at the players that you have available for you in this team, I think it's a good option to have Tim Weah through the middle because he has that pace and you can stretch a back line, create pockets of space for guys like Alex Mendes and Slovenia to get into the midfield and get on the ball.
There's Pomykal, lovely bit of skill from Pomykal, pulls it back to the edge of the area, and it was caught, directed towards goal. That was a lovely play from Pomykal. He had started central, first time we've seen him going into that wide role. Very creative play from the FC Dallas man.
And isolation 1v1 and just shifts the ball quickly and tries to get it back for the little cutback. Slovenia's there. But as we talked about the compactness and how many numbers that this Ukrainian side gets behind the ball, they were able to put that fire out. But good early signs for the U.S.
Mendes, who recently signed for SE Freiburg. Christian Streich has a wonderful track record of bringing young players through. De La Fuente, nice bit of skill from him. Best will always look to get forward from right back. Back for Conrad De La Fuente. Cross towards the near post, easily dealt with. Bondar. And another chance to clear, this time is Bescaravagni. And the clearance by Dennis Popov. US having more of the possession so far. Savagni from distance. That one well over. I like the confidence of the FC Dallas midfielder. Again, we mentioned, Mo, why it was so important to have a positive start in group stage. Second place in the group will play the winner of Group E, which features Mali and France. And if you top the group, you get a third-place team from one of the other groups. So big difference in terms of quality in those knockout stages of who you might play.
Yeah, and theoretically, that's the ideal situation. You want to win the group, and well, you never know how these tournaments shake out, and third place could end up actually being a stronger team. But you want to win games because not only by winning the group, it gives the group confidence. It gives your team confidence because you've had good performances. You put together 3 good games. And as I said before, you want to build as the tournament goes on. You don't want to peak at the very first game. You want to come out and put on a good performance and set the bar. But from there, you want to grow. You want to grow as a team. You want to grow individually so that by the time, and hopefully, you reach that final game, you're at your peak.
A lovely bit of defending there from Riches, wasn't it, on Supriyaha, who you'd pointed out. Big threat on that front line. Looks to be the lone front man here early on for Ukraine, who are showing a lot of respect to this US team. Lovely little ball in behind from Mendes, looking for Pomykal. Those two have a good understanding together. And back for Durkin. Keita, Richards. Back in for Durkin. 9 appearances in the MLS campaign for him so far. In possession here again. And that one out of the Ukrainian defender. The US 16th appearance in the U-20 World Cup. That is the most of any team in the field that have qualified. Best finish was 4th place back in 1989. Kurt Analfo is actually an assistant on this group. He was part of that team alongside the likes of Casey Keller. Strong challenge. The US are going to have a free kick. Mendes stares down. Really strong challenge from Chichashvili. First tackle, he's saying. And the referee gives out the first yellow card.
It's kind of a wayward ball, but Mendes comes in. And Chichashvili just catches him a little bit in his ankle there. Just stamps on his foot there. In a game like this where a team sits back and tries to exploit you on the counterattack, set pieces could be vital. So it's important that the U.S. try to take advantage and try to get something out of this. Good whip ball in here. You have some good size in Chris Richards, Tim Way, Boubacar Keita coming up. So
we have a man in Mendes who's been known to go for goal from this distance as well.
Why not?
An array of spectacular strikes. Yep. He can hit him. Slovenia also over it. And you'd imagine this is going to be Alex Mendes. Mendes does go for goal. Not a bad hit at all. And a very good save from Lunin.
As you talked about, he has the technique, he has the power. It's a good strike there. Keeper maybe could have saved that a little bit more comfortably, but nonetheless, for a guy who hasn't had too many touches early on in the game, this should maybe get him a little kickstart and get him more involved and excite the fans the way we know he can.
He's on the corner kick. This one dealt with a little bit more comfortably from the Ukraine. And again, Chichashvili looking to lead that counter-attack. We haven't seen it yet. I was talking at any level starting a World Cup, the nerves, but particularly when you're dealing with younger players. US, Tab Ramos as well mentioning, one of the youngest. He feels it might be the youngest squad in terms of average age. Nice bit of skill on the cross. Will go all the way through and out of play. Conrad De La Fuente switching wings.
But to your point, yeah, they might be one of the youngest teams he's fielded, but they're one of the most experienced. They're getting to play at a high level on a consistent basis. They're in professional environments, all of them, being challenged week in and week out, and there's no replicate for that. You know, you're playing games, playing in an environment like that, it pushes you, it tests you, it prepares you for these moments now. What I've liked so far from this U.S. team is the confidence on the ball. Not just playing the wayward sideways passes, but no, Chris Richards looking to play penetrating balls, Chris Durkin looking to split the lines. Because against a team like this, it's what you need. You need to be able to cut out 3 or 4 players and get your dangerous guys on the ball in more advanced and dangerous positions.
Pomacao, who's been all over the place so far. Mendes a little bit more central, the role we're used to seeing him. Former LA Galaxy man. Gloucester. Richards, very comfortable in possession, playing out of the back. Bayern Munich in a bit of transition in the centre-back roles. I'm sure he'll have one eye on that moving forward.
That's the beauty of these tournaments. We've seen so many players over the years make a real name for themselves in the U-20 tournament, and for the U.S., they're no different. They're actually in a more unique situation because, one, it's a platform to go on and show yourself for your club and maybe even get a move, but two, the dynamic of the full team where they're in transition, where a lot of young players are coming into the full national team. These guys aren't that far off when it comes to age and when it comes to talent as well. So you have a good showing here that, I wouldn't say immediately, but that definitely gives you a chance and puts you in that conversation now going forward with the full team.
Another free kick given away. Cipriaja was looking to break. That call going against Kaklov. The referee's been on top of those kind of challenges here early on, taking quickly, and you can see what Pomacao was looking to do. Weah just wasn't on the same wavelength. Looking to step, didn't really have many options, and again cleared up rather easily by Richards. Sarvenia. Immediate pressure applied by Weah on the defender Bondar. Really with the long clearance. Here is Yuri Chichashvili. Already made his debut for Dynamo Kiev's first team, the youngster. He's the man who picked up that yellow card, that challenge on Alex Mendes. Lost a lovely ball. Weah receiving that one from Sarvenia, but it goes all the way through once again to Berocavagni. Moonin again, not afraid to go long. Now down into midfield, just signs the Ukraine are starting to find their feet here over the last couple of minutes. Anton Richards a little less convincing. Lovely touch from Gloucester. A lot of clubs were interested in Chris Gloucester.
You know what's interesting about his position is, as much as we talk about this being a platform, I think it's even more so for him, because when you look at the full national team, the left back area is a position that's still kind of up for grabs and question marks about who's really tied down that spot. So a good showing for him. He could be in that conversation. He's at a good age. He's playing at a club where he has the potential to go on and really make a name for himself. But just looking at bigger picture things with the full national team, the left back spot has not been locked down yet.
I've been saying that for a number of years now at that left back position. But you know, I was a left back once.
Okay, yep. Here we go.
Good pressure by Mendes in midfield again. Ukraine just struggling to maintain possession once they get beyond that halfway line. That has to be pleasing for Tab Ramos. I've mentioned, though, in this Ukraine side, knowing how they hit on the counter. So just when you think you have them, they can strike. Bondar, another longer ball forward over the top, not for the first time, and it's almost contest in behind. It was Buletsa, another man you pointed out. He is a goal-scoring threat. He just got wrong side there of Dest.
And that's what you just mentioned, that out of nothing. This is a 40-yard long ball over the top. So Dino Dest is still recovering because he was just in the attack. Buletsa sees the opportunity. He doesn't bring it out as cleanly as he might want to. He tries to get a touch off. Dest does a good job to recover and put it out for a corner kick, but those are the areas where they'll look to exploit you.
Buletsa on the delivery. Lescaravani coming forward, as does Popov. Buletsa whipped in towards the near post, not fully cleared, and a chance, and Durkin not convincing with that clearance either. Still in the US penalty area, finally cleared. And almost a ball to allow the US to counter. Somehow the Ukraine get that one back. The US had won that one with Mendes, they were away. Konoplia. Popov, lovely little entry pass. Supriyaha. And again, not very good in the middle of midfield so far, the Ukraine. Not for the first time we've seen that step from Lescaravani. Shishashvili. Supriyaha. Fullbacks. Something else Tam Ramos talked to us about, Mo, saying we like both fullbacks to go, and it certainly looks like Ukraine trying to exploit that space in behind. Conrad De La Fuente on the break. And that one works out in the end somehow for Bondar. And again, indecision between the Ukrainian defenders. It was Timway initially, then Pomykal trying to put a little bit of pressure on. Free kick will go in favour of the Ukraine. No, what do you make of that when teams talk about? We used to always hear about the balance of one fullback going, the other tucking in. Managers that want both fullbacks to go.
Yeah, it shows to you that they want to play an attacking brand of football, and that's where the number 6 comes in, and he has to be so disciplined, so organized, and athletic to cover that ground, because if you do have both fullbacks advancing forward, you need someone to protect the back too. And then in transition, you need someone who can put out fires, who can cover that ground. And that's why I think Chris Durkin comes into this team. You have Cervania, who was playing 6 in qualifying. So I think looking at this team and looking at this setup, knowing that you're playing against European opponents who are a little bit better in transition than the CONCACAF teams, and that's no disrespect to them, but it's just a different style of play, a different emphasis on the transition game. And so you bring in a guy who has that defensive ability, that defensive qualities to cover that ground and put out fires, and it takes a little bit of the emphasis off of the center backs. They know they have that added layer of protection there.
If anybody watched the Dutch U17s win the European Championships, they didn't just send both fullbacks, they sent a centre-back as well. So there you go. There's always one coach who wants to be more attack-minded. Ball in for Durkin, possession given away. Durkin will have it back. Trying to tread that one through. That one well read. Weah, not on the same wavelength again as Durkin. Ball in behind. Yet to really get many touches in that number 9 role. It's a difficult situation for him at Celtic. Scored a couple of goals, then Brendan Rodgers moved on, and new manager had different ideas.
Yeah, I think he's still trying to really nail down that chemistry with the rest of his teammates. You know, when he's making it run, when he's not, when he's checking for it, and when he wants it. So I think as the game goes on, you'll start to see that familiarity come into play a little bit more, and they'll get the chemistry right. Because at the moment, it just seems like they're slightly off. When he's checking for the ball, he doesn't get it, and then when he spins into space is when they're trying to, you know, so they just got to figure out that little dynamic a little bit better, because with this back line, playing with the 3 backs, playing such a compact line, there's not going to be a ton of space for him to find it in the middle, but there are areas of threatening behind.
And just on that, just one warm-up game to really work on things. That came against Uruguay. That one ending 1-1. Always difficult for national team managers, more so maybe youth national team managers, as we take a look at this one again.
Physical battle. Be hard pressed if he called that one a penalty. But to your point about Tim, yeah, he had the one warm-up game to play, and in that game he played wide. So now he's playing through the middle in a system and with players that he may know some of them from the U7 teams, but at this stage and with this group, there still takes a little bit of a period to figure out things and find your way.
Well, a reminder, we have the FIFA Women's World Cup, amazingly now just 14 days away. The US looking to defend their crown. That will kick off June 7th, France against South Korea, 2 p.m. Eastern on FS1. A tournament I know you're looking forward to, Mo.
It's crept up on us, hasn't it? It's already here. U.S. team looking to defend their title.
Never an easy thing to do.
Oh. But they have a good squad. They're confident. They're going to come into this knowing that, look, we've done this before in the past. We can do this again. Some new players have come into the team. A good veteran core. That's still a part of the group as well.
I won't put you on the spot for a prediction yet. We'll get that one from you later in the tournament.
I'm always going to be biased, so it doesn't really matter.
That's what I figured you'd say. Mizolotin picking up the yellow card there. Another chance for a delivery. Slovenia this time with the right-footed cross. Not fully dealt with. The shot towards goal. Mescaravagni as well to clear the danger. Those set pieces, you mentioned it, could cause problems. US with a couple of players who can really deliver. Back to Brady Scott, who's been a bit of a spectator so far, the FC Cologne man. Scott again, the US. Very comfortable in possession here. Durkin, Gloucester. Trying to spray that one forward, looking for the runner, Slovenia, but that one out of play. You can just see the pressure coming from Ukraine, and didn't stop the US trying to play out.
Yeah, they look a confident bunch. Individually, collectively, they look confident on the ball. They look like they have patience, that poise to, yeah, there might be a fire going on around us, but we're calm. We're content to keep the ball, and we know that we have the quality on the ball to get out of situations.
These players would have been focused on this match over the last couple of hours. We had the chance to watch Nigeria earlier today, and they look formidable, as they always seem to be at the youth national team levels.
Yeah, they did, and I think the U.S. would have had one eye on that game as well, knowing that they're in their group and the threat that they pose. So seeing that result, seeing them put up 4 goals, they know that they need to get a win at this game to keep themselves on par. And as I said, set the tone. It's all about the tone of how you want to go on in this tournament. Because if you drop points early on, it's hard to play catch-up in a tournament like this because the games come by so quickly.
Reminder, the top 2 teams in each group will go through, and the 4 best third-place teams. So plenty of opportunities to make it to that latter stages, but of course it is that seeding in the latter stages that can worry you. Although I'm sure Tab Ramos and other coaches will tell you, to win a World Cup, you're going to have to beat the best teams, regardless. Rolling behind, looking for Way again, and the referee's going to blow the whistle for offside.
And there you see Tim Weah trying to expose that spacing behind the back line. And when you look at this game, we're about 25 minutes into this game so far, and the U.S. have done a good job of keeping the ball, putting out fires when they need to. But in the final third is what we need to see a little bit more. We want to see more possession on the ball in those areas. Get Conrad De La Fuente on the ball a little bit more. Paxton Pomykal, after, good early spell, getting a lot of touches, hasn't had as much of the ball. And there haven't been many shots on goal. So for all the possession, all the good play, there has to be a final product. So that's the challenge now, going to finish the remainder of this half.
The US do have a lot of attacking options on the bench. Not that we're talking about that this early, but Uli Yanes, who's signed for Wolfsburg, very talented wide player coming inside and a goal-scoring threat. Sebastian Soto, another Hanover man. And to this game progresses, Tab Ramos, plenty of options.
It's a deep squad. Tab talked about that. He mentioned that this is probably one of the deepest squads that he's had. And so you definitely have options off the bench if it gets to that. But with the quality that you have on the pitch right now, it's about just staying calm. It's the first game. You got to start off the game very well. Just maintain that and build off of it.
And just to bring your own story into it, we hear the subs, Wolfsburg, Hanover. When you were playing at this age, there was a lot of college players involved at this stage.
when it was my age group, it was UCLA, UC Irvine. You know, so it just shows you the way.
Ball behind it, and a real opportunity. Ukraine get the opening goal. Serhij Buletsa, the goal scorer supreme in the European Championships, has struck first here. Super finish.
About how Ukraine only needs one chance in transition. You see Buletsa, he gets there, he just gets in between the defenders. Des tries to make the play on the ball, doesn't get anything on it, and it just falls kindly for Buletsa, who does well to finish past Brady Scott. But that's the threat that they pose on the counterattack. They don't need much of the ball. They don't need many opportunities. But when they get that one chance, these guys are lethal. They're clinical in the final third. Buletsa does a good job to wrong foot Brady Scott there and put his team up, by all accounts, against the run of play.
Alexander Petrakov celebrating, and I think it's safe to say that Brady's gotten unhappy with the defending in front of him, but when he watches that replay again, he was beaten on that near post area as well, the goalkeeper. But you mentioned him, Mo, this man lethal against France and England, and is struck for yet another big goal. Side that were quite content to sit back in the Ukraine. Now they have a lead, maybe even more so.
And now the emphasis is really on the U.S. to get out there and push numbers forward and command this game, play with some intent, get into the final third, get balls in the box, give Tim Weah a chance. Late runners.
Slovenia was trying to make that running behind there after good approach play on that right-hand side. A bit of a knock in the back of his head, the FC Dallas man.
It's a good response by the U.S. to commit numbers forward down. Gets knocked in the back of the head there a little bit, but you want to see midfield runners. You want to see when the ball is wide that you have numbers in the box and guys being able to take the initiative and get forward. Guys like Brendan Sylvania or Alex Mendez.
Serhij Buletsa. He plays for Dynamo Kiev. There's a serious official if ever I've seen one.
Takes it very serious, as he should.
Does that goal change anything in terms of game plan for the US?
I don't think so. I think the way that they were playing, my only gripe with them at the moment would just be that we need to see more in the final third. They possess the ball well. They've done a good job of defending the transition game and putting out fires. That goal came when they were in a set position. You know, it wasn't as if it was a quick transition. They just didn't react. They didn't respond to it well. Des tried to make a play on the ball. It didn't come off, but let's just use his body and position him well to leverage himself into that position. But it's just in the final third. We need to get Tim Weah involved in the game more. Get him some more touches in dangerous areas where he can create. Get Paxton Pomykal, get Alex Mendez higher up the pitch into more dangerous and advanced positions where they can show off their quality.
Yeah, after that bright beginning, we've seen very little of Pomykal either. And on the turn there, it was Supriyaha. The free kick goes against him. Keita winning that one. Gherkin. When you see Mendez in that central role, a little bit more advanced. He was very effective in the CONCACAF Championships, breaking from a deeper position and a real goal-scoring threat as well. Gherkin again, not convincing with that pass. Crossed it as well to get there. challenge as well from Durkin.
Yeah, after he makes that, the pass was just a little bit off, and he comes in with the late challenge there as well. This is where you have to have your leader step up and say, hey, calm down. You know, we're not under the cusp right now. We're down a goal, but we're still playing well. We know what we can do against this team. Relax. Let's just get back to playing our game. Get back on the ball, dictating the game through possession.
Here is Pomykal trying to drive. Runs into one too many Ukrainian defenders who, after a shaky beginning, look a lot more comfortable defensively. Nice ball out wide. Konoplia, good touch inside. Very good play again from Gloucester. He really does look the part at left back. And again, all bar one of the Ukrainian players back in their own half of the field. Lovely approach play from Delafuente and Dest. This is better stuff from the US. Pomykal, lovely play inside. Weah coming out wide, delivered in, and the US have a leveler, and it's a superbly worked team goal. Slovenia with the finish, and that started at right back all the way forward. The perfect response from Tab Ramos's men.
You know, Tab is on the sideline smiling watching that play. The build-up for that play, Pennsylvania makes the late run out of midfield to cap it all off, but as you talked about, the sequence leading up to it, the interchange, the 1-2s, the quick movements off the ball. It's all about the running off the ball. Tim Weah does a good job here because he could have taken a touch and tried to create something else, but he just puts a good ball across the box, knowing that he has runners coming through midfield who are going to make that run, take the initiative, and Brandon Cervenia, normally playing number 6 during qualifying, steps up to put the game back level for the U.S. Oh, what a finish for him. What a moment for that young man.
Your name is in the history books. You're a goal scorer at a World Cup. But we saw in the box as well, Serginho Dest. What a run from the right back. Committed 2 defenders. Weah with a lovely cross. That's exactly what you wanted to see from the US. Really well defended, coming back in from the goal scorer, Slovenia. Just one appearance this season for FC Dallas as a substitute.
But even after you saw that first goal from Ukraine, what I liked about this U.S. squad is you never saw a drop in confidence. They still believe that they can get a goal back. They still play the same way. You didn't see them change from their tactics, and you didn't see them suddenly start playing long balls. They stuck to their game plan, and they've executed now.
And now back in defending this set piece from Yuri Chichashvili. A bit of jostling inside the area. Again, a match referee, Maget Indai, having a quick word. Chichashvili, left-footed delivery towards that far post. The header back across. Well worked routine, and it's out of play for another corner kick. You can see that was straight from the training ground, the longer ball and the ball back in.
And there you see the importance of second balls. Chris Gloucester did a good job to react first there.
Mescaravani again the target. Scott gets a hand to it, an important hand to it. Good spell here for Ukraine after conceding the leveller. So they've responded well. Very entertaining match so far. Won't get there ahead of Richards, and Richards elects to just clear that one. Didn't feel like there was a passing option available for him. And he was high-fiving his team not so long ago, Alexander Petrakov. Now has to do a little bit more thinking after that leveller. Conrad De La Fuente looking to start to counter again. Pomykal Good defending across from Valerie Mondar. Well, that man, Serginho Dest, certainly played his part in the leveller, making up for perhaps a defensive issue on that opening goal. Here he is again, the cross. Nobody really in the penalty area that time for the US. Mendes couldn't corral it in first and does well to maintain possession for the US. As far as Supriya has been kept relatively in check so far. Well, give and go on that far side, looking for Kornienko, but out of play for the US throw-in. A reminder, this is the second match of the day from Group D. The opener, Nigeria winning against Qatar by 4-0. So barring a collapse from one of these teams today, Nigeria will top the standings after match day one. Where? Durkin. Dest. De La Fuente. Nice little reverse ball from De La Fuente. Pomykal in a good position. And that one flashes through the six. Lovely ball by De La Fuente. Thumbs up from Pomykal.
So much good on this play. It's the slight movement there by Pomykal, but the vision by De La Fuente, and it's almost a half chance if he just cuts it back a little bit. Doesn't get the connection he wants on that ball, but those are good early. Those are the signs that you want to see in the final third. The little interchange like that, the little clever movements, the clever balls, the clever passes, because that's how you break a back line like this. When you have a team playing with that 5 back and it's so compact, so disciplined, you need subtle movements and you need a little bit of creativity in that final third.
Lovely little turn further forward by Buletsa. You mentioned it as well on the delivery. You can see Tim Weah on the replay pointing exactly where he wanted that ball delivered. In for Weah, who's dropped a little bit deeper. Dest. Pomykal. Every time he's had it and ran at defenders, he's been threatening. You see the shot count. Heavily in favour of the US. We'll flick back to the goalkeeper. Noonan offers line and does well. Not too many clear-cut chances for either side, though. Be it signs to 2 goals.
No, nothing. Again, for me, my point that I'll continue to reiterate is just you need to be a little bit more dynamic in that final third. And that's coming more so from the US side, because this Ukraine team is content to play on the counterattack.
And that ball, again, in between the centre-back and the right-back, that's the one that's caused problems.
To play in moments like that, where they can expose a fullback that's out of position and play on the counter and play direct.
And Dest looking to expose them going the other way. Again, a powerful run from the right-back. Still he has it. Plays it inside for Slovenia. Mendes at the edge of the penalty area. They want to give him time and space. He can go for goal. Lovely little return. Pomykal still has it. Forced back. That was intricate approach play right at the edge of the penalty area from the US. Dest. And De La Fuente just caught off guard with his own first touch there. Would have been wrong-sided with the defender in front of him. Confirmation of the goals 6 minutes apart. Ukraine scoring first and the US in a positive response. Gloucester Weah, who's for now gone to a wide position.
It seems that that's where he's been able to find the most joy so far. Get on the ball at least, get touches is in those wide areas. Through the middle, he's found it a little bit difficult because of the three center backs. He hasn't found the space that he wants. He tends to drift a little bit wide and leave that space for Alex Mendez to occupy. And the same situation comes up for him because he's also a player who wants to get touches on the ball.
And Mendez a little bit deeper in the CONCACAF games. As of yet, not getting as many touches in possession. Good pressure on Chichashvili, who's dragged down and looked initially like the US are going to win that and break after the press from Mendez. And Chichashvili manages to win the free kick. Escaravagni, towering figure. Now let's talk about the dual nationals on the US side of things. Escaravagni actually playing for the Slovakian U-17 team. And we see that goal again, the opening goal.
And it's his body positioning. He positions himself in between Dest and Chris Richards there. And he's able to shield him off the ball, so he can't make the play that he wants on the ball. But then the U.S. responded. Bright play, good interchange, good movement, and a good finish in the final third. You see the celebration. Enjoy that moment, young man.
To be young again, Mo.
Oh, don't remind me.
You're still pretty young yourself.
It's relative. It's all relative.
Nice ball for Weah. One further forward coming from Slovenia. Durkin. Long ball forward, looking towards Pomykal. Weah on the second ball. You know he has that 1v1 ability in these situations. Gets it back. Lovely play from Weah. Conrad de la Fuente. Back for Dest. Another opportunity to go. This time he comes in on his left foot. Little chip delivery. Not a bad idea from Serginho Dest, but once again, he's gone forward on the Ukraine counter. Chichashvili, very strong play, but equally good defensively play from Gloucester, who just connected with his centre-backs. Him opening up here, Pomykal. Still Pomykal. Good challenge. Valery Bondar. Durkin has it back for the US. Also a reverse ball from Mendez. Yes, look like they're going to end the first half how they started it. Big spells of possession. Nice goal from Mendez from distance. Goes for goal! Big save from the goalkeeper. First time we've really seen Mendez with a bit of space to run into. He does it very well, and that is a super hit.
And as you said, it's from a deeper position. He collects the ball, shimmies past one player, and just unleashes a rocket from deep. Keeper does well to get down and make the save. But hopefully this is the kickstart, the life that he needs, or the moment he needs to really explode in the second half, because we all know he's capable of doing special things, creating in the final third, moments of magic.
Let's see if he can create here from this set piece. Final seconds of a very entertaining first 45 minutes. Chichashvili again trying to counter-attack. And the Ukraine have won the free kick. Well, Mo, your overall thoughts on what we've seen so far?
a lot of good from this U.S. team, but you have to give credit to this Ukrainian side, too, because it's not easy to weather the storm for 45 minutes, to play that compact, to use that amount of energy. For the U.S., all I would say is just be more clinical in the final third. They've done a good job of keeping possession, putting out fires, defending when they need to, minus the goal. And then the response after the goal was great as well. So in the second half, just have a little bit of more creativity in that final third. Take chances. Be willing to take shots from distance, as you saw Mendez do there.
Beleza, and gets in behind Dest, who fell on the ground. That ball through the 6-yard box again. The US wanting a little bit defensively on that side. And Oplia whipped in delivery, and that one not fully clear, and it's out of play for the corner kick. Won't be enough time to take it.
It's just a header that's not dealt with well, and Beleza reacts in these areas where he's dangerous. They get a good ball across the box. They don't have that many numbers in there, and U.S. does a good job to scatter around and get a play on it and get it out for a corner kick, which is something in itself there.
And this should be the last action. Chishashvili towards the near post, out of play, and no time to continue. That is the final action of a very good first 45 minutes. Ukraine struck first. The US level through Slovenia, 1-1 after 45 minutes. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be back with much more on the U20 World Cup.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar.
It is the US who kick things off, attacking from left to right to start the second half. We saw the live standings in the bottom corner. Nigeria already with a victory earlier today against what we expect to be the minnows of the group in Qatar, but you never know at the U20 level. Mo, the message from Tab at half-time to his players was what?
To keep doing what you're doing, and more so as I look at this lineup right now, how they're laying out, it looks like Tim Way has actually shifted to the left, and Pamakal's come through the middle. And I think that might actually be a good change, because there were moments in this game where it seemed as though the game kind of passed him way by, in the sense that we know how effective he can be when he gets the ball, when he's isolated. And I think in a wider position, he'll get that chance to get on the ball and run at players, and we know how dangerous he can be in those situations. So that'll be an area to kind of watch for in this second half as things progress. But the message from Tab, yeah, continue doing what you're doing. You see that you can open them up. You see that you can create spaces and passing lanes, and it's just about being clinical in that final third and delivering that final pass.
Any worries defensively from the couple of chances that Ukraine did make from longer services?
I think it would just be a case of just reinforcing the amount of focus that you need in a tournament like this. That even the smallest mishap or the smallest moment where you take your foot off the gas, you can be exploited and punished for it, and they saw that. So hopefully they've learned from that.
Mendez trying to play that one through for Way, who, as you mentioned, way out on that left-hand side. You wonder if that was a little bit from the player as well, who was struggling to get involved in that number 9 roller, dropped deep a number of times.
Yeah, you saw him start to float off to that left-hand side to get on the ball. You want touches. When you're a player with that amount of quality and that much ability, you know that you can influence this team in a positive way, and that comes from you getting touches on the ball. So naturally, as the game wore on, and he didn't get those touches, he tried to find areas to get on the ball, and that ended up being on that left-hand side.
As a player, as you mentioned, at club level, has had first-team experience in that role as well. Trying to break through a Paris Saint-Germain, no easy feat when you consider some of the names ahead of him. Sent on loan to Celtic. A smile on your face on that one, Mo. I'll let that one pass.
Yeah, I think he embraced his role at PSG, playing with guys like Neymar and guys that he can learn from. You know, he talked about how much of an influence guys like that have had on his game. And
Chishashvili on his left foot. That one comes back off the woodwork. What a strike from Chishashvili. We saw Mendez in the first half of the US from distance. Chishashvili just as good with that hit. On his left foot, cold effort, wonderful delivery, and that is equally good goalkeeping. Well, you cannot let this man shoot from distance.
What a start to the second half we've seen from both sides, but this strike by Mendez, this thing is curling for that far post. A lot of credit to Lunin for his attempt there, his save there, but that's a big play on both ends. Ukraine denied by the crossbar. And the U.S. by a strong hand of Andre Lunin in the goal.
We saw the power in the first half of Mendes. That one, a curled, whipped-in delivery.
But this one by Chishvali comes from nothing. Just picks, he sees a little bit of opening, sees a window there. Good power, good precision. Only denied by the crossbar.
And he saved you from having to talk about Celtic as well, so that was a double whammy for you, Mo. We'll move on from that. Keita. So far has settled in nicely alongside Richards.
Those are the passes. Those are the ones that you need.
Good defending, just a fraction ahead of Mendes. We spoke at half-time, Mo, off air, about the role of Mendes. Perhaps a little bit too advanced at times in the first half for him to be as influential as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I think he's another one that wants and needs touches of the ball. And so at times, as the play was building up, he was used almost as just to keep the play going, to just, you know, play a one-touch pass here or there, and he didn't get as many touches as he would have liked. And as the game wore on, you saw the strike that he had at the end of that first half. It was from a deeper area, so I think you'll see him start to drift a little bit deeper, not a huge amount, but just a slight bit deeper to find little pockets and get on the ball, and so that way he has space to create. You see Chris Richards barking out orders there. He knows the value and the importance of defending this free kick.
Mendes picking up the yellow card for the foul on that one as Ukraine were trying to transition. Probably a good foul, in fact. And again, well-worked free kick towards the far post. And the US defend it well. Chichashvili onto it. Two of the best left-footed players go head-to-head, and Chichashvili gets his delivery in. And that's the goal scorer. He's won another corner kick. And the real threat, Serhei Buletsa. He's going to take this one himself. And again, the camera pans to Beskaravani. And we're going to see Vladislav Supriyaha get involved here. Quiet first half from him. Delivery central, the header! And the Ukraine are back in front. Super delivery, and Denis Popov made no mistake.
Set pieces, we talked about them. You have to be alert, you have to be awake. You can't let your man get an inch of space, because that's all it takes in these situations. Just gets a good run. U.S. looks as if they're almost playing a little bit zonal in that situation where if you're going to be playing man-to-man, you got to get close to him. You have to have a hand on his back. But he creates a little bit of separation there, gets a good contact on the ball, and finds that back post. Good start to the second half of this Ukrainian side.
I know a good friend and colleague, Alexei Lalas, is watching this when he preaches on set pieces being such a massive part of the game. And the Ukraine have looked lively on all of the set pieces. And the US, for the second time in the match, will have to come from behind. Said no changes at halftime, though, in terms of personnel, but certainly in terms of where the personnel on the field are situated. Conrad De La Fuente, lovely touch from him, lovely delivery all the way through, and that one cleared out of play, so almost an instant response again from the US.
De La Fuente's got to be scratching his head because he's put the ball exactly where it needs to be. But Tim Weah and Pamakol, they were both just slightly late keeping up with him on the play as he advanced that ball forward. But as you said, good response by the U.S. Now they have a chance to try to get something out of their own corner kick.
Mendes and Slovenia both over this one. Mendes been striking the ball well today. That'll be his left-footed delivery. And that one towards the far post overhits all of the US targets. Cleared as far as Durkin, who just launches it back in. Might fall all the way through for Mendes again. Left-footed delivery, nice cross, and good defending at full stretch was the goal scorer, Denis Popov. That was a difficult ball to deal with as well. He might have injured himself trying to stop that one going through the 6. Chishashvili. A challenge from Mendes to win it back. Popov, was that a foul on Pomykal? The referee has allowed play to continue. And that cross knocked down to play, and it'll be a throw-in for the Ukraine.
It's a good challenge there, nothing in that one. The U.S. have to now again take a second, regain themselves, regain their composure, and put a foothold on this game again. They've gone down a goal before in this game, so they know that they're able to come back from it, but they have to clean up their mistakes defensively in those little moments.
Konoplia trying to get a second opportunity to deliver that one in. In way of trouble in the Ukraine here. He hasn't had much so far, Tim Weah. The most experienced in terms of full national team games of this group. Conrad De La Fuente's had some lovely touches in this second half. Gloucester. Nice ball inside from Mendes. Just trying for that little through ball. It was well read by Ukraine, and the counter-attack is on. And Scott comes off his line. A little bit of indecision there between the two centre-backs. And Kate has taken a knock from his goalkeeper.
Brady Scott coming off his line. The communication has to be spot on in that situation. It looks like he comes down on him a little bit there.
US already having some injury issues, of course. Mark McKenzie working his way back, and he'll skipper the side when he's available. And you know very well.
Mark's not only is he a good player, but he's a good person as well, but he's a good leader. When you meet this kid, he's well beyond his age, he's mature beyond his age, he commands confidence on the pitch as well as off the pitch, and he commands respect. He's a player that these guys know well. His teammates respect him as a player and as a leader.
Another free kick given away there from the man who's stand-in captain today, Paxton Pomykal, and you don't want to give the Ukraine too many deliveries from these situations, especially with Chishashvili and Buletsa over the ball. Alexei Karklov over this one with Serhiy Buletsa. Whipped in delivery again towards the far post. Popov had got away from his defender. They've looked for that on a number of occasions, that far post delivery. Yes, back for Richards. Of course, first half being a goal down, it was a case of more of the same. Mo, but second half, you do have those attacking options on the bench as well. You wonder how long Tab Ramos would leave it before going for some of those options. Soto, Yanez being another one. Mendes, lovely switch of the play for Conrad De La Fuente. De La Fuente, going one way, then the other, back on his right foot. And you mentioned his balance and ability with both feet. We saw it there again, Mo. Lovely play.
He just shifts the ball from side to side so effortlessly, gets it back on his right foot and gets a strike off, but it's his balance, it's his low center of gravity, the ability to throw players off, throw defenders off by just a slight little cut and slight movements in that final third. But Ukraine have come out a lot more aggressive this half. They've been pressing the U.S. into higher positions, trying to get them to cough up the ball, making it a lot more difficult. In the first half, you saw the U.S. was able to pass out of the bag very easy with uncontested at times. Chris Richard had plenty of time to pick passes and split the lines, whereas now you're seeing a little bit more aggression from this Ukrainian side, pressing this U.S. team, asking questions of them higher up the pitch.
And again, a reminder, a Ukraine side that in the build-up to this, in the European Championships, they did beat France, they did knock out England, so very efficient against top-class opposition. And Tab Ramos expected a really tough test. He said, if we can get through this one, we're in good shape, but it's a very difficult opening game. Buleta, lovely touch again. Kornienko, good delivery. And now a break might be on here. Mendes trying to find Weah, good play. Weah, a lot of pace, and that was a cynical challenge, and this will be a yellow card. That was an easy decision, but perhaps a good foul as well from Valery Bondar, because Weah looked like he might have been in the clear.
This is where he's so dangerous, in space. When he has space to attack and run at, he had to take the foul there, Bondar. He realized, he said, if I don't commit this foul, this guy is off to the races. Look at him, he just throws his body into him. And when you talk about the transition game, as threatening as this Ukrainian side is, the U.S. have just as many avenues to attack, if not even more, than this Ukrainian side going forward. I mean, you have guys like De La Fuente, you have Paxton Pomykal, you have Weah through the midfield, you have Cervania, who's been a little bit quiet this second half.
Chichashvili, won back well by Gloucester. Weah. That one just behind Mendes, and now the counter-attack is on. Chichashvili wants to come in on that left foot. That's exactly what he's going to do here. Delivers, wasn't a bad ball, and he was allowed to come in on a stronger left foot as well. He felt like one of his teammates could have gone on the end of that one.
Durkin does a good job of slowing him down, but at some point you have to commit yourself a little bit. The U.S. has numbers back, which is good, and it led to that because of how he's able to slow him down.
The U.S. right now at 60% possession on the game. But I think, Mo, you mentioned it, certainly a Ukraine side more on the front foot in the second half. Well, U-20 action will continue tomorrow. One of the favourites we're going to get to see, France taking on Saudi Arabia, 11:50 a.m. Eastern on FS2. And a potential team that the US could meet in the next round if they were to finish second in this group and France were to win their group. That's still a long way away, a lot of games to play. Likes of Mali, Nigeria, and Ukraine, Phil, they have things to say about that. Mendes, again well read further forward. Cervania hasn't got involved as much in this second half, Brandon Cervania. And now the break is on. Supriyaha has got options either side of him. Supriyaha. Well, the US won't be happy with how much space he found in front of the centre-backs there. He's been quiet so far. And not for the first time in this second half, Abubakar Keita has steadied down. I think, come on, man, is what he was saying to the referee after the challenge.
Yeah, and you see Supriyaha on the pass with the follow-through. He just kind of stumps on his ankle there. There's no intent. But that lack of intent doesn't take away from the pain.
Now you're going to look at Tab Ramos. I don't know what's going through his mind right now in terms of perhaps looking towards the bench. Alexander Petrakov will be a little bit more happy with what he's seen in the second half, I'm sure. Nest, Slovenia. Paxton Pomykal. Another player so comfortable in possession. Pomykal can play a number of those attacking roles. The ball in behind for Conrad De La Fuente. Tries to pull it back again. Nobody in that position. Guletza. Supriyaha up against Richards. Good defending from Chris Richards. Des getting in another advanced position with the US. Not really troubling with their possession over the last 10 minutes. Lunin. That was better pressure from Dest. And De La Fuente keep it in play, he can. And now he's being called for offside. Late flag going up. Mo, I know you were just looking at the bench for the US players. Is there any particular change that you would look to for Tab Ramos to make if this scoreline remains the same?
Definitely got to get something. I think Slovenia's had a slight drop-off. He hasn't had the influence that he had in the first half with his late runs into the box. On a couple of occasions now, you've seen Conrad get forward and get balls across the box. And you see the first sub up there, Soto. I think he'll actually come in for maybe Tim Weah.
There's another man who's signed in Germany for Hanover. He's going to come on for a person you said had been quiet, Slovenia. So this, an attacking move. A forward for a man who's been playing in midfield. Maybe a more natural number 9 than we've seen on the field as well in Sebastian Soto.
I think that'll drop Pomykal back into midfield. Keep Tim Weah wide on one side. But as you said, you have a true number 9 playing through the middle. And although Tim Weah has more of a tendency to drift wide, to get on the ball and find areas to create and be 1v1, Soto's more of a player who wants to stay centrally. He wants to get in the box. He wants to be more of a poacher in the box. So when you have these crosses coming in from De La Fuente or even Tim Weah on the other side, now you have a number 9 who's going to stay a little bit more central and provide that threat there.
And another man who's elected to move to Germany. Christian Pulisic had so much success in the Bundesliga over the last couple of seasons, and we've seen a lot of young, talented US players decide to go that route.
Opportunity. You know,
Not afraid to play the players.
If you go to a, it's all about at a young age. It's great to have talent. It's great to have so much talked about you. But unless you're playing games and getting a chance and being in a system where you know you're going to get a chance, then it's all for nothing. So a lot of these players are seeing that as an opportunity. They're seeing that Germany, for whatever reason, is taking a chance and playing young players. And so why not make that move there and go there and be in an environment where you're going to grow, you're going to develop, and you're going to actually get the opportunity.
A little bit of contact there between Weah and the Ukrainian Chichashvili. We've had a lot of fun practicing his name beforehand as well. I think we finally got it. And there you saw the contact. No real intent there. It was just the hand coming back. And the apologies are accepted from Chichashvili. Knopfler sportingly gives the ball back to the US. Well, midway through the second half, the US down by 2-1. Denis Popov's second half expertly taken header, separating the sides. We said it's the most talented US U20 group we've seen in an awfully long time. A real test of the character here. with how they respond over the final quarter of this match. I'm going to see another change as well for the US. Looks like Matt Real is getting ready to come on. That delivery in, all the way to the edge of the penalty area. It's set up by Canoplia, could go for goal, and he was closed down well defensively. Good approach play on that left-hand side by the Ukraine. And it's going to be Gloucester who's going to be replaced. Matt Real.
I think he picked up a little bit of a knock there and was struggling.
Real, a defender from one of your former clubs, Philadelphia Union. Just back to Scott, who clears the danger out as far as Real. Weah. He's going forward in this situation. Very difficult to stop Weah. Lovely play. Mendes just trying to wrong foot bomb that. That was good defending by the centre-back. Was determined not to allow Alex Mendes to get on his left foot. Pomykal goes down. No free kick. Fuente. Good tracking back in from Bescaravagni. Durkin. Dest. 4 defenders around him. Actually stood on the ball as he was trying to go forward. A little bit of frustration showing there from Vladislav Supriaha.
He hasn't touched the ball hardly this game, but that's how they play. He hasn't had to.
Fuente just runs out of play. And I think going back to Tab Ramos and his assessment of Ukraine, he's been pretty spot on with what he said.
This is a team that is disciplined. When you put 5 behind the ball, you have 5 in the back, and again you see the glancing header there that just nestles into that far post by Denis Popov. But when you have a team that's content to just soak up pressure, that's organized, they communicate well, and they're disciplined defensively, it's a hard task to break down. If you put 9 mannequins on the pitch and say break us down, that's difficult in itself. But when you have guys who have the energy, who have the endeavor to go out there and take pride in defending the way that this Ukrainian side has done, it's a hard task. And now the challenges for this U.S. team, how do you get more in that final third? Who steps up? Who's that spark? Who shows that creativity to take the initiative to lift this team?
Pomykal dropping all the way deep there. You see him in that centre role. Here he is in possession. One of those spells, the US, where they've had the ball but not really penetrating that Ukrainian defensive shell. Quite clearly see Supriaha, the lone front man. Weah, no give and go at Real. That one goes just out of play. Mendes just took his eye off the ball for a moment there, Alex Mendes. Does well to track back in. Strong challenge. Play will continue. Another one of those long searching balls trying to catch Dest out. Lovely touch inside. Buletsa waiting for the overlapping run. Onyeka was ready to make it, but it wasn't the greatest delivery from Buletsa. And again, Ukraine just trying to pinpoint those passes in when Dest goes forward. Is that on the fullback to pick his times? Is it on the holding midfielder to come across and cover?
It's a little bit of both, but I think Chris Richards has shown great awareness. So many times he's put out fire using his athleticism, his pace, and his reading of the game. They're in a situation where they need to get their fullbacks forward. They need Des. He's been the more attacking out of their fullbacks. They need him to be able to have the freedom to get forward when necessary. And when that does happen, I think Chris Richards has done a good job of identifying that. Durkin as well, to slide over and cover that space in his absence.
Weah again dropping all the way deep. Perhaps not in an area where Ukraine are too worried about him having possession. Buletsa. Supriya, and again the frustrations overtaking the youngster. You mentioned his touches. Hard to remember him having any kind of possession. Here he is now. Buletsa. And then he got the opening goal today. Kornienko. Kaklov. They've grown as this game has progressed, the Ukrainian side. Popov. Konoplia making the US chase here a little bit. Weah wins it back. Durkin gives it right back. Slack play from the DC United man. And Chichashvili coming inside, that one blasted well over. And Chris Durkin, not at his usual best in possession so far. I'm going to see a change, and it is going to be the goal scorer coming off. Serhii Buletsa. Denis Ustimenko is the man going to be coming on. So it is a striker for a striker.
It's a good performance by Buletsa. Not just the goal, but his ability to hold up play in transition moments. Sometimes, more times than not, in transition plays, he's having to just do the bulk of the work there by himself because they only have himself and maybe Supriya in the final third. He's able to create a couple chances for himself. Obviously, he got the goal. He had the assist on the header as well.
It's interesting that it was he and not Supriya who was taken off. Touch out wide again, good defending in those wide areas from Denis Popov. It's a high five from his teammate. Pomykal inside the area, lovely ball, Mendes off the woodwork. Snapshot from the midfielder, and that's as close as the US have come. Lovely ball from Pomykal, equally good on the hit from Alex Mendes. That's going to be a yellow card for Durkin.
It's a harsh yellow card there. He puts his arm in there just to stop the play. There's not too much in that for me there, but what a strike by Alex Mendes. Pomykal does so well, brings in 3 defenders. Good contact by Alex Mendes, and is only denied by the woodwork.
And a reminder, Memorial Day, you'll have the day off. You can sit at home and join us once again on FS1. The US in the second match of the group stage is taking on Nigeria. And right now, that's shaping up to be a must-win for the US. 2:20 p.m. Eastern. But we're not writing anything off here just yet. And another change. Yuri Chichashvili is going to come off. And Alexei Kashchuk is going to come on. Chichashvili picked up a yellow card early, but after that, some creative moments from the number 7.
He had the assist on the goal for Buletsa. He kissed the crossbar to start the second half off. He brought a lot of energy to that midfield in the defensive areas as well as the attacking third.
Alexei Kashchuk, a midfielder from Shakhtar Donetsk. Motimenko fighting for that one. The free kick goes against the big Ukrainian striker. Pomykal again forced to drop that A little bit deeper. Where, well, similar for him as well. Most of his touches in front of a slew of Ukrainian defenders. Dest. Supriya has actually dropped back in on that left-hand side to help defensively. Bondar. Kashuk, the substitute, looking to have an immediate impact. Looking for the ball out wide. Durkin. More positive play from Durkin there. We saw a different midfield, Mo, in the CONCACAF Championships. What have you made of the US midfield in this game so far?
I think part of that change was because Tab talked so much about the transition game and how much it's elevated at this level. So he brought in a guy like Chris Durkin, and he pushed Cervania, who he knows had the defensive qualities. He pushed him a little bit further, and I thought he did a good job in the first half, especially with his engine. He showed his ability to get back in transition moments, but also to get into the box for late runs. That's where his goal came out of. This second half, we've seen Ukraine apply a little bit more aggression, a little bit more pressure to this U.S. higher up the pitch, and that's created a little bit of a difficult task for the U.S. to find the right balance in that midfield. By and large, they've still had a good chunk of possession. It's just about, and again, I feel like I keep harping on this, but it's in that final third where the questions are being asked.
Real with that ball in, too close to the goalkeeper, Lunin.
Decision-making in the final third, whether it's the final pass, do I take the shot? Am I willing to make that run, that extra 10 yards to get into the box on the back post?
Well, for all of that possession in the second half and over 60% for the game, have the US shown enough in terms of creativity in those areas?
If you look at the amount of clear-cut chances they've had, you would ask questions of that. Aside from the ball that Conrad de la Fuente played across the box early on in this half, and then the shot just there about 5-10 minutes ago from Alex Mendez, for all the possession you had, you would expect more chances, more clear-cut chances, half chances even.
They're trying to create one here. Good delivery. Plenty of bodies in there for the US. Still my fall here for de la Fuente. And well, he's going to give away the free kick. Bondar got across, just tried to get his head to it. He's been everywhere in this second half, Valery Bondar.
And as much as we're challenging the U.S. to create better chances there, to get more numbers in the box, to do more in that final third, you have to give credit to the Ukrainian side. It's not an easy task to go out there and defend the way that they have, because you use a lot of energy to commit that amount of running, that amount of ground you're covering for 80 some odd minutes now.
Well, as Bill, as Tab Ramos said, a very good team, can hurt you in transition. Also in set pieces as well for that second goal. Supriyaha. Good read by Keita. And again, he goes down. We can hear from the bench, that's a couple of late ones from Supriyaha. Let's have a look at this challenge again.
Okay, he's caught him late there on his left foot there. And he's right, it is a couple late challenges by Supriyaha. He's lucky to escape without a yellow card. But that's even another sign of his work rate. This is a striker who we've talked about showing a little bit of frustration, not touching much of the ball this half, but he's still doing the dirty running, putting in challenges when needed.
Very hard as well, Mo, to judge the Nigerian side because they had it so easy in that first game in terms of how the US will match up in that pivotal second game. The US have shown some real quality in possession today. We have possession again. Where? Dest. Pomykal. And now the break might be on. 4 Ukrainian players driving forward. Zolotin, the man trying to start the break. Comes out through Kaklov. Still has him as Zolotin. On that one, just too much on it for the substitute. And Renix is going to come on here and replace Conrad de la Fuente. Justin Renix, forward. Thoughts on this move?
Just tired legs. He's put in a great shift, Conrad De La Fuente. He was always bringing energy to that right-hand side, always willing to take his defender on 1v1, and most times he beat that defender. Some good delivery early on, and to start the second half off. So for me, it's just a case of getting some fresh legs on there to continue with the same pace of the game.
And the older members of that front group played some college soccer in Indiana before signing for the Revolution. Sebastian Soto, nice ball back for Pomykal. So can accuse Tab Ramos of not going for it here with the attacking moves. Durkin. Renix trying to immediate involvement. Pomykal again. Plenty of bodies in those central areas. Soto first real effort on target for him. We haven't seen him since he's come on. Snap shot right at the goalkeeper.
But look at the bodies that he's having to shoot that through. He does a good job to create a little bit of separation for himself to get that half turn. But even that shot is going through about 4 or 5 bodies from that Ukrainian side.
Well, the Ukrainians themselves are going to make another change. Maxim Czech, Shakhtar Donetsk man, is about to come on. Where? And again, that's good defending from Popov. And was there a late challenge there because Alexei Kashuk rolling around in agony. Kaklov is going to come off for Czech. Another man who's worked tirelessly in midfield defensively for his team. And the fourth official telling him to come off a little bit quicker.
That's game management there on his part.
Well, I guess if the referee's watches stop, what difference does it make? But yeah,
the referee's watches stop, but you're never going to get exactly the amount of time that you've taken off.
Players know exactly what they're doing when they're coming off.
Of course.
Again, not something you would have ever done, though.
Oh, never me.
And right now, it's the Ukrainian fans who've made the trek, a shorter trek, of course, to Poland. And they are celebrating what will be a big victory for them to open the group. They would have seen this one as well as a massive challenge against a US side who have so much quality and have shown it in spells here today. Dest. Those long legs again of Pescaravagni. Not your classic fullback, is he? Renix. Mendes opening up on that left foot, tries to thread that one through, looking for Weah. There's a good run from Tim Weah as well. Good win back by Richards. Pomykal, nice strength from Pomykal, still Pomykal, still he goes, trying to go around the last defender. Was that a foul? The referee was well positioned. We do have video review as well. Pomykal shaking his head. There was Popov, the goal scorer, involved. And the referee can let it run, safe with the knowledge that he can go back and review it. We haven't seen a replay yet, but that was a big moment. Long ball will travel all the way through. Well, you'd imagine after going this amount of time that video review have decided that there wasn't enough in that. Doesn't have to go out of play. The referee can stop play. Final 2 minutes. Can the US conjure up a late leveler here? A draw would be not a bad result by any means. Supriyaha, he has other ideas. He wants to kill this one off. He might get another opportunity here. Throws himself into that challenge. Now he goes down, and now he's won a free kick. And this will waste some more precious seconds off the clock.
Look at his reaction there. He's laying out. He knows what he's doing. The U.S. has a case for a foul there on Supriyaha, but he does well to get up and fight through it. And it's just a grab there that the referee's called the foul on for Keita. And here you get to see the challenge by Pamukal, and it's a good challenge by Denis Popov. Pamukal did so well to advance the ball forward, but he does get the ball there. It's a good contact, good challenge, and good no call by the referee.
They'll be very happy on what they've seen. And the free kick blasted well over. Maybe surprised that they didn't go short and look to waste a little bit more time there. Very ambitious from Viktor Kornienko, the fullback. Richards, we have reached the 90-minute mark. We're going to have 4 minimum additional minutes. 4 minutes for the US to salvage something from the opening game. Dest, a little bit of space for Pamukal, and he was looking for the run of Weah. Again, some positive approach play, but just that final end ball for the US lacking again. Ukrainians defensively have had a lot to say about that as well. They've been superb. And they're good going forward here as well. Konoplia. Keita under a little bit of pressure. Forward. The US trying to get on the second ball, Sota, but that was good defending. Bescaravagni very quick to it. The US still content to try and move possession around and try fashion an opportunity through possession. Pressure again from Ukraine, forcing them all the way back to Scott. Another long searching ball, that one bouncing. That was a little bit more direct from the US, but Andrei Lunin read it. Quick look at the watch there from Tab Ramos. Final 2 minutes of stoppage time. Break inside. Renix. Still Renix. And again, just that extra body defensively back in, and it was the substitute check. Well, it's been a bit of a frustrating second half in terms of creating those opportunities for the US.
It has been, and a part of it is, I think the bulk of it is the way that Ukraine has defended. They've thrown bodies in front of things, in front of challenges. How many guys they have that are that committed to just defending with pride?
And now they look to break, looking to get that third goal. It was good defending back in from Serginho Dest. He has to knock it out of play for the corner kick. And you'd imagine the Ukrainians are going to be in no hurry to take this one either.
And then for the U.S. as well, still question marks of how do you get the best out of Tim Weah? In what areas? Is it him playing through the middle? Is it him playing wide? There's still a lot more that he can bring to this game, and we haven't been able to see it. So he has to find a way to express himself a little bit more in this game. Alex Mendez as well. We've seen him in glimpses, but we know the impact that he can have and how much of a role he can play for this team.
As we expected, short corner, little flick, and the header. Supriyaha and Scott with the save. Well, looked like they were going to go short and waste time. They got the delivery in, and again, the US left wanting defensively at set pieces. Now we're over the 4 minutes.
They played it short. It's the deflection there. And Supriyaha reacts quickest. Just a glancing header. He does well to get contact on that ball because he sees it late.
And that is the final whistle. The US open the group stages with a tough loss after dominating possession for large periods. Mo, positives in the fact that the US with a team looking to probe with that possession, but undone by a very strong defensive Ukraine side.
Positive that they executed a part of the game plan and that they dictated tempo, they dictated the way they wanted to play, they passed the ball, they created passing lanes. But the biggest question for them will be, how do we execute now in that final third? How do we create real opportunities, and how do we get Tim Weah, a guy that could have been on the Gold Cup roster, but elected to play for this team? How do we get him more involved and effective in that final third?
The US will have a bounce-back game on Monday, so not too long to wait, but it is against Nigeria, who won earlier today. We're going to take a short break. Make sure you stay with us. We'll be back to wrap up a busy day of action at the U-20 World Cup.
Objective hit the targets.